Hello, hello, Scorpio, and if any of you are still hanging this late, then welcome and thank you. I'm a night owl. We are doing this Halloween till Day of the Dead through the veil, and happy birthday, Scorpios. I love Scorpios. I am glad to have you here. These readings are in celebration of your season, of the hallowed season, and of me launching the Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings channel on YouTube, where I will be doing monthly and mid-monthly readings through the astrological signs. Your cards are ready, Scorpio. So we will do a general reading here, and then we will go into a love reading, and then what do you need to release during this season. Your subconscious energy is beautiful, Scorpio. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. This reading is for, and this is Two of Cups in your subconscious energy. So your spirit is really going, feeling the feels, about love, reaching out, touching people's hearts and minds, and really wanting to be cozy and in a partnership now. Jupiter is in Scorpio, blessing you up. So take advantage and call in that good luck and good love from the universe. So let's see what's going on here. This is your general portion, as I said. All right. I think some good payback is going to come in your career section. We have the Empress with the Hierophant and the Three of Pentacles. So if you have been waiting to be seen, to be put yourself out there, to have some good things coming in, Scorpio, in your career and financially, it definitely looks like it could be so. Blah, blah, blah. This is also screening family. So those of you who are not, you have the Ace of Wands as well. Yes, I definitely see that someone could be pregnant or expanding the family, could even be an adoption, but there's definitely family looking like it's expanding and a potential pregnancy, someone becoming a mother. So this could be with you or a partner or someone significant around you. Could be a Taurus or Libra around you, or even a Capricorn around you, who is, you're going to find out is pregnant, or it could be you and your partner. So congratulations if that is you. This is also just saying a lot of fertility. So for those of you who are not looking for that, you are fertile, both male and female, and everybody in between is looking fertile for Scorpio. So yes, and I can see a lot of playing around. So you are going to be feeling a lot more like vavoom vavoom with Jupiter in your sign here. You'll have to see though, because I see part of wanting to be in a very secure family situation and partnership, and part wanting to really just kind of be, with everybody. With everybody. There could be some Sagittarians who are really tempting you guys, and or just that Jupiter energy, wanting to expand, wanting to have fun, wanting to play around a little bit, wanting to travel. So but going into the work sphere, putting yourself out there is really going to do well. You will be noticed in a good way. I see an increase in pay, and finally the abundance, the harvest you've been looking for coming in. So definitely over this next month, look to see that really, income picking up, things of that nature. There could be the ability to travel. Some of you might decide to move. There's a lot of travel energy that you're going to be planning over the next year, which again makes so much sense with Jupiter in your sign. I see the balancing of finances too. So it's not just going to be like, oh, I can finally pay the bills, but you'll also be able to have fun and have pleasure. It's the balancing that is your own balance, coming together. And for those of you who are seeking the approval of partners, or if you're sharing finances, that should come in a good way, and you should have kind of the kudos or the okay from the partner to move forward in that way. Let's see here. Yeah, travel definitely looks really good, and just kind of I don't know, there's this kind of alchemical blending with others that's happening, particularly with partners in business or family or romance. Yeah, I feel like Taurus should be a really good, supportive, strong sign for you, even though that's your polar opposite here with the Hierophant and the Empress. It looks like you guys can really be a very much a power couple at this time. People that have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So let's go ahead and see what the oracle advice is for general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising through this hallowed season and the witch's year. Advice for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, because it looks good. All right. So, winter, the sacredness of pausing. So throughout this winter, I feel like you're going to actually have a very fertile winter. It might be a lot more active, a lot more going. You might be traveling between cold and warm places. I don't feel like it's going to be as dead for you as it is for everyone else. I think you're going to like the pause of it. You have also with that midnight, the most magical hour of all. So I feel like you're going to have your sleep cycle, if you're not a night owl, might go there, or just the darkness that's in winter. I think you're going to thrive in it. I see a lot more abundance and just a lot of action going on for you, and you being able to step back and take the pauses when you want. I think you're gonna have an extremely productive winter. By the time winter's up, you're gonna have kind of like a springtime in winter, Scorpio, which is beautiful. Scrying, intuition. Now, intuition being off is not a good thing when it comes to Scorpio. So everything's looking good, but I think where that's coming up with is because we have these fiery type characters, Leo, Aries, Sag, that could be throwing you off a little bit, Scorpio. So trust your intuition. And if you have someone who is like these characters, or it could just be people who are exhibiting these qualities, like the Knight of Wands is very like not really reliable, more about inspiration and excitement and you know, just kind of up in the air, not someone that you can really count on in romantic relationships, things of that nature. So don't let those people come in and throw off your good intuition, because right now that is the advice, that your intuition could get a little bit out of whack, and that could be very dangerous for Scorpio, because you channel so much emotionally, and everything that you filter is through your intuition, you know, your logic, your insight, everything. So really make sure that you keep that you know, on lock and guard, because everything else looks really, really beautiful. Now going into the actual love reading for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Let's see what we got here. Love reading this holiday season for the sign of Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Love messages. All right. Let's just flip them as we go. And I do pre-shuffle these as well in between. 5 of Swords. So when it comes to love, there could be some arguments, or you could be like arguing with yourself in your subconscious, that is, or just remembering, like, you, of course, you remember every word, and that could be where your intuition's going off, because you remember every word of every past thing that's ever been said, and it can be getting in your way. Now, and I see you trying to balance, like, you know, you're definitely feeling alive and fiery. This is the Zombie Tarot, by the way. This was the Halloween Oracle and the Santa Muerte Tarot. You know, you are feeling like, definitely, you got the Ace of Wands twice and the Sun card. So you definitely have a big, like, libido, and, you know, are wanting to have your sexy time. Again, there's marks of fertility, just so you know. I can see family and children expanding once again, a new one coming in. Just be aware of that. But at the same time, it's like you're feeling so bored with everything. You're so bored with your options. Like, you're so bored. Like, you're so bored with your options. You're like thinking of like daydreaming or fantasizing, or thinking of like talking to your, like, that weird acquaintance 3 times removed who isn't even like a friend but just shows up at random friend things. You're like, maybe I'll even talk to that person. So for those of you who are single, don't be getting desperate and strange here. You know, come on now. Use that good intuition and go focus on the partners who might be a little bit more work. I feel like there's a partner that you guys are really drawn to, that you have history with and perhaps a family with. You know, you might have children with and have parted ways for a bit, or things of that nature, or who you saw a future with, but there's been anger there, and there's definitely been falling outs, and there's been immaturity, perhaps on both parts. You know, I feel like as your intuition's been getting out of whack, that it's been you know, and the timing's been off. I feel like the timing's getting ready to sync up better. You know, you're going through your recalibration. You're going to have a time of much better timing, basically, coming into things, especially once the sun is going into Sag. I feel like things picking up for you too, and just having clarity. Like, you need clarity on things, because your mind is so stuck on things that have happened in the past. You have like written them into the history books, basically, is what your subconscious is showing, and you just will not, you won't, like, every time, like, anything you think of, you're like reconnecting back to like a negative pathway with your mind. So that's why your intuition's off, and this is a card of Scorpio. So when good chances come in, or when, someone changes and is, sunny and bright again, you're just like, nope, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't see it. So this can be with your partner, for those of you who are in a partnership, but there's the need to renew and refresh and allow each other just to, it's going to feel like, vulnerable for you, Scorpio, to let go in that way. But there's just like everything wants a new start, and especially if you're bringing a child into the family, it's so vital and necessary that you let things restart. Now, some of you, it's going to have to be coming to terms with being friends with a co-parent. Maybe you want something more and you want it to be a more traditional family with this person, but it's just not working out. One of you is just always disinterested. One of you is just always, is so set. One of you might be quite older than the other and just so set on like, what am I missing out there? I want something else. I'm bored. This kind of energy. So you might feel like you're co-parenting or trying to date someone who just, even if they are, older than you or a proper age of, like close age, I should say, it just feels like they're not, it feels like there's just this big gap there, and like you always have to be, staying fresh and on your toes and this kind of thing, and that just becomes exhausting for you. For those of you who are dating Aquarius or in relationships with Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, that could be very difficult at this time, I see. Or those who have, planets in the house of Leo, so they stay very young and they're just very focused on dating or wanting attention and things of that nature, and you're not quite feeling that right now. I do feel, though, that you're going to start going into that energy. So some of you who have had these breakups from long-term partners, or ones that you've were really invested in or that you've had children with, I think you're going to have that kind of glow up and that kind of going back out to the dating world and really liking to get into that. And for those of you who are in your partnership, I think that the path is to almost like become friends again, but like friends with benefits again. It's like your benefits are gone with your partner and your friendship's gone with your partner, and you need to bring both of those back in and ignite things again. So drawing some cards for that one already just popped out, for the love life of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is the Le Vampire Oracle. Yeah, definitely children are what you're creating, or someone being pregnant. Keeps popping up for quite a bit of you that will be watching. And again, if that's not what you're wanting, just be aware that you have a lot of fertility at this time. Okay, so you have hope. For those of you who've been hoping to increase your family and have children, it might come in slightly unconventional ways, the way the reading is, but it's going to come out, it's going to wash out traditional. You're going to have traditional love. You're going to have that feeling of family with it. So you have hope, anticipation, bright prospects, and wish. And then you have creator, catalyst, maker, mother, and father. So some family things could be important to you too. Maybe you're waiting for, you might have been married 20 years and still be waiting for the approval of an in-law, of your partner's parents, and that could be very important to you. And for some of you, your relationships are like your babies. You cherish them so much, or there's other things that you have going on in your relationship, or in your life, I'm sorry, and you're just so afraid that they could be hurt or smushed because you're so vulnerable when you let a relationship in. But you have hope. So she's choosing to light the wick there, even though she's like a little goth fairy, and believe in the bright proposals, the anticipation, that she can have the wish, that she can start over again, and again bring in children in a good way if there are children involved. And this could even be, again, separation if there's been divorce or something and you're trying to find a way to co-parent children that way. And then you got compassion, empathy, simpatico, and kindness. So I feel like, removing the tallies of who's helping who. If you guys are going to be co-parenting or in a romantic relationship, the need to stop evaluating, well, I carried you for this long, for this many years. Well, I did this for this many years for you, or this many months. And it's like, no, be empathetic, be hopeful, realize that you're creating a relationship together and that it's very sacred. I feel like there's really, like you guys are playing light, Scorpio. You're playing light in a lot of things, but really you have this depth of relationship that wants to come through. This passion that's happening, this travel, some experimental energy that you're having is really wanting to birth through with a partner, but in a fresh, exciting, new, committed way, a way that will lead to commitment. So being honest about that, it could seem like you can't have all of that you want. Part of you wants to kind of explore around and just be sexual and sensual, and part of you just so much wants commitment and family and togetherness. And I think you can have both, and they can be on the same path as each other. They're all here, aligned on that same path. Because you need that security, you need that safety. But it's saying that you have to allow that to happen. You have to let that hope grow. You have to realize that you're creating something and feeding it. She's feeding it. This is still a vampire oracle, vampire. So she's like feeding it like blood. But what it is, it's feeding things from your depths and allowing them to grow, and to allow the roles to switch as they need to, with compassion and love. So that is your love portion, and I think that you can have many blessings in your love life like that. So figure out what you want, Scorpio, and make it happen. So now for the last segment, we will do, what does Scorpio need to release this hallowed season? So what do you need to release? Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising signs. What do they need to release this hallowed season? This is with the Deviant Moon Tarot. What does the Scorpio, moon, sun, and rising need to release during this hallowed season? Does Scorpio need to release? Okay. All right. The burdens, the stress, you've been carrying everything. You've been carrying everything because you feel that karma's not been served. You feel that justice has not been served. Maybe that, court cases, maybe custody battles, maybe divorce. Maybe public opinion. You feel like, I was innocent in these situations, or you might feel like there was a child involved, or just romantically, you might really feel like, I carried all that burden and justice has not been served. It could be the feeling that your partner owes you something, like just the scales haven't been balanced for you, or like an ex got away with something, and so but you're just carrying that and harboring that. And so for the thing that Scorpio can release this hallowed season, that is what they are saying for you. Go back to that water sign, that purity, that clean emotional, that trusting, that romantic side of Scorpio. Enjoy your Scorpio season. Enjoy all the blessings of Jupiter in Scorpio, expanding your life, and allow justice to come, because it will. It is here, but it's the stress of trying to make it happen. It's the stress of being burdened or becoming bitter because it's taking a little bit of time. So again, you did get that midnight card, so for whom the bell tolls, things are going to be coming out in the wash this winter for you, Scorpio. You got this card of winter, so things will turn around. But right now, remember, it was warning that your intuition can be a little bit off, because, and I think this is one of the reasons why, because of that, it's kind of that crouchety, no, I'm not going to move on because they haven't been punished, and you end up punishing yourself a bit. So it's no, the universe sees you. The universe sees you in the places that you've been innocent, in the places that you've been trusting and loving, and the ways that you've tried to protect the vulnerable, and that will come out. Justice will be served in that. So, and actually, look, who the Justice card is serving up there looks a lot like that kind of creature there with this crazy Deviant Moon Tarot. So trust that it will be served up, and you will be taking care of, Scorpio. And this can also go both ways. So if you've been cross-watching and there's a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising who has been the one who's been doing the negative, then the same would play. Justice is going to come out for those who are deserving to be vindicated, basically. But overall, I think Scorpios, you have a very good reading, things looking really good. Allow yourself to grow your partnerships and have the fulfillment that you want. So go ahead and please subscribe to the YouTube channel for the monthly and or mid-monthly readings, Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings on YouTube. And go ahead and tag and like and share in all these videos. Make sure you check out your sun, moon, and rising. And I will be back in a short while after I charge up the phone a bit with Sagittarian's live reading.